There's still a sense of barriers between groups of people, and those barriers are formed by discrimination and racism and stereotyping, and it's unnecessary. And I feel like the global engagement is not only a step towards breaking those barriers down, but just destroying them completely and just leveling everybody onto the same playing field.
I've never really had an experience like that at the high school.
It was very eye-opening, and it was different from anything that I've ever experienced.
Different from what they might expect.
I've done things that I would never have thought I would do.
Highly recommend.
Go for it. I positively encourage it.
I'm just really glad that I did it.
I'm really glad I did it.
So many different opportunities that you can take with it.
There's so many opportunities that came with the global program.
The global program provided a really cool opportunity for me to really get involved with the global community and really focus on global issues.
It's really changed my perspective on a lot of things.
You definitely get to meet a lot of students who are globally minded, I guess, like you.
I actually made a lot of my friends through the global program.
It was really kind of geared towards like the local mindset, thinking global but also acting very locally.
Learning about things that don't really revolve around us.
I think the program really provides a new perspective and a global perspective, which I think is really important to have for especially US citizens, because sometimes we can get really confined in our own country.
The world is huge, and there's so many different cultures and so many different beauties to all the cultures, and I think that if Andover students are exposed to, taking that into their own hands and researching it the way they want to, whether that's through travel or a research topic or whatever, it really does enrich their lives.
For my travel, I went to Costa Rica for 9 days, and it was 3 different service projects. One was building a community center, another was building a bathroom at a local high school, and then the third was building a house for a family with a newborn. It was very humid, I'll say that. We got off the airplane, we had a 3-hour bus ride to the base camp, and there was a poisonous frog in our shower, and I was the one who had to take it out because no one else wanted to. The counselors found out that I spoke Spanish, so I was only allowed to speak in Spanish the whole trip. Everyone helped clean up, we all helped cook dinner, so it was very immersive.
I was in New Orleans in July of 2017 with Rustic Pathways, where I did community service down there. I helped with rebuilding, I helped with painting floors, walls, cleaning up, and I specifically helped 2 people return home. Frankly, helping them out was very satisfying to me because it unlocked for me a want to help people more. One was Mr. Theo, the other was Ms. Dolores. They were both the most amicable people I know, and they're home again, which is what matters most.
So this summer I went with Mr. Shea, Mr. Hopkins, Ms. Frisk, and Ms. Staviso to Italy. We went to Rome, Florence, Milan, and also Berlin in Germany. And there was a EF summit there.
Welcome to the 2018 Global Leadership Summit. How do we harness the power and potential of technology to improve our daily lives?
And my group, basically, we came up with a bracelet that prints out pH strips. You dip it in your food and see if your allergen is in there.
Give it up for Team Green!
And actually my team won the competition, which is kind of a bonus. It was really cool. Yeah, our tour guide, Daniele, he was just the best. When we were in Rome especially, he was like, Rome is like a lasagna because there's so many layers, and we just learned so much.
I traveled to Guatemala for 2 weeks with a program called Global Leadership Adventures.
The program was on education, so we were teaching in a school, and I've been taking Spanish, so I thought that was a good idea.
I got to use my language skills because I've been taking Spanish.
I was really nervous to speak in front of a group of kids in a language that I wasn't really comfortable with, but after the first 30 minutes, I felt totally fine. It was really nice getting to know the kids, just to see how you would give a lesson and then they would all take it in different directions. I felt like I really was actually doing something.
We painted murals and really got to get involved with the community and the people there.
We were really immersed in the Mayan culture, so we ate traditional food. We got to participate in a traditional ceremony.
I really got to see the differences between education in the United States and education in Guatemala.
As much as I don't always want to go to school, I think I've realized how lucky I am to have such a great education system.
It definitely made me thankful and grateful for the stuff that I have in the United States.
Not only have I learned more about other people's cultures and communicated with different people within Global, but I also had a chance to travel to St. Lucia through Global to learn more about my own family and where my own family comes from. My grandmother was diagnosed with diabetes, and the healthcare down there isn't really the best, so she had to have surgery and get her leg amputated. So she used to have a restaurant, and she would run the restaurant, and then at night she would give back the extra food to some of the homeless people in the area. But since her surgery, she's been struggling doing all of that, so I just wanted to be there to help her emotionally and to help her with her restaurant and give back. It became like an obsession. The fear of not being able to do that just because I'm not as financially well off as other people, it was heartbreaking. You can't do service behind a computer screen. You don't get that. And at a certain point it stops being about you and more about the other people that you want to help. I applied for a scholarship for global travel, and the Global Engagement Program provided me with that, and I'm entirely grateful for that. I was running around my house like a fool. I was so happy. A big part of my trip while I was down there was organizing a fundraiser for her. That went so well. We had this little, they called it a ballroom, but it wasn't a ballroom like what I was expecting. I was expecting, like something at town hall where you have this grand room. But it was like a little shack. The floor was concrete and it was just dusty and filthy. And so my brother, he handed me this broom, and at the bottom of the broom was dried up grass, and it was tied to the broomstick, and it wasn't one of those Glad brooms, that you use. It was amazing because we hung up these lights, and by the end of the night it was just fantastic. We had country music blasting because that's my grandmother's favorite type of music.
Music is my passion, and I really wanted to help something on a global scale using music. So the capstone class really interested me because of the research component and how it would tie into my global requirements. But I wasn't really sure what I was going to do exactly, and now as I'm working in capstone I've realized that I want to see research into how music can help people protest against hate, and I'm going to dive into looking at Afghanistan and how women can fight against anti-feminism using music.
My capstone project is looking at how English education affects the lives of high school students in Costa Rica, because their income's mainly based on tourism and farming in the off-season. When I was there, I was able to have a meeting with the principal at the high school, which we helped work at, and we're working with our Spanish teachers and their English teachers to create a pen pal system between the different students to help strengthen their English to help them with their jobs in the future.
And that's why I think the global program is extremely important, because it really gives the students opportunities to do stuff maybe out of their comfort range, but eventually make them realize that it is in their comfort range and they love traveling, or they love whatever they love, they'll find it within global, which is pretty amazing.
Being a global student is something that's really changed my perspective on a lot of things, and an experience that I'm really grateful for.
It provides students here with skill sets that they're going to be able to use for the rest of their lives.
I'm just really thankful for that.